49ers at Raiders. Hopefully, this is the next step into getting McDaniels fired. But you said yesterday that you didn't think that he would get fired.
Yeah, and it's like for most organizations, I feel like what McDaniels has done and what we've seen from McDaniels before, like he doesn't look any different as a head coach now than he used to. Like he had the same issues at Denver. So most places he'd probably get fired, but like we're talking about Mark Davis. Like, and you have to understand who Mark Davis is to understand that he's not going to fire Josh McDaniels in the offseason. He'll give him at least half of next season. Like if they're absolute garbage for half the season next year, maybe he gets canned in season. But I don't even see him if the Raiders are terrible next year. I think he lets them wait until the end of the season. So, as much as disappointing as it's been for the Raiders and as much as McDaniels probably should be out, I just don't see that being the case.
Well, then Mark Davis is an idiot because the writing's on the wall. He's not any different than he was. It's all there. He's mimicking what was going on with Nathaniel Hackett. The Raiders are tied for first, however you want to look at it, in penalties. That's a sign of lack of discipline. So going along with he isn't any different than he was before. He took a bad team and make them worse. And the writing's on the wall with the penalties. That's lack of discipline. The cancer, they found the cancer. You better cut the shit out because it grows and it spreads and it affects everything. And if he doesn't do it now, he's going to set him back. He's going to sell himself. Just cut your losses, man, and refigure it out and start over right now. And don't if he keeps this guy another year or another half year, they're going to lose next year. Then you've got the cancer spread, and you got to undo that shit. And maybe the next year's off the board. Get it over with. I hope that the 49ers come in here and kick the shit out of the Raiders and embarrass them to the point where Mark Davis has no choice but to fire Josh McDaniels. And that's my hope for all you Raiders fans out there.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that's probably likely to happen. With as good as this 49ers defense is, as good as that offenses look, like it just feels like every aspect of this game, the Raiders are about to get absolutely dominated and they have no chance whatsoever. And if you're Mark Davis, like even the person he is, like you at least somebody close to him, like president of football operations. I don't know if that's Mark Davis or if he hires a guy for that. Somebody in that organization has to go to him and be like, look, it just came out that Sean Payton already has Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. He's putting together an all-star, like just those two. Like you could have those two as play callers, and I'd be happy. And so as Raiders fans, you have to hope that Mark Davis sees that Josh McDaniels has to go, and you have to do everything you can to woo Sean Payton to come and coach your team. Because look at, the Raiders were in the playoffs last year. Like that, they barely squeaked in, but they made it to the playoffs last year. And what they've done this year, they brought in Devontae Adams. Josh Jacobs is the leading rusher and has been for most of the season. Like they have the pieces and they did the things they needed to in the offseason to get better. You have Derek Carr, who looked good last year, but has looked trash this year because of whatever McDaniels is doing and how, I don't know, however that schemes work. I don't know enough about the inner operation to know how that thing's going, but you can't put it all on Derek Carr when he's had years in his career looking like an all-star. So if for me, as much as I want Sean Payton, and I hope Sean Payton and his staff comes to Indy, like if you're a Raiders fan, you have to hope, and you're looking at next season thinking, that's what I hope happens is Josh McDaniels is out and that crew goes in.
Yeah, and not just Sean Payton, right? Frank Reich's available. Frank was 40-33-1 in Indianapolis. Frank built a hell of a team in Indianapolis with Ballard. Things didn't go the way he wanted. There's a lot of weird shit that happened, including, starting with Andrew Luck retiring, that a couple things go Frank Reich's way. We're having a completely different story. He deserves another shot. Dan Quinn's on the market. Eric Bieniemy's on the market. There are a lot of upgrades. So those are 4 upgrades already from Josh McDaniels that we just talked about, and we don't even know or discussing the other 12 candidates underneath that may be available and doing things. So I hope for Raiders fans, this is it because it's the writing's on the wall. No way the Raiders win this game.
Yeah, 0% chance I have the Raiders winning this game. No. And I would love to know what you think about this game, what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. You let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.